Hello, my bibblebonksquonculi. Welcome back to the OSIEZONE. As you can see, it hasn't been a whole month since I've uploaded an episode, and this is consistency we're seeing here that we haven't seen since the beginning. So really trying to get on it, okay? Gotta speak my truth, gotta always show up. As you can see, we're in a slightly different location. Usually I film right there, but I'm at my desk now because my intention with this room, and we're going to be talking about spaces a lot today, the space in which you exist. My intention with this room was to give myself more dedicated workspace, and I'm currently sitting in the spot where I make music, where I make videos, and often where I do my makeup. So I'm excited to be here. I did try making like one YouTube video one time in this spot, but the background was so plain and then the video flopped and I was like, no, I cannot film there because the background is so bad. But here it is. I mean, the background's pretty cute, guys. Let me know what you think of my environment. Right, like I said, we're going to talk a lot about environments today. My apologies for any background noise. I live in a lively household with many people who I love, and that is a privilege of mine. But since moving here, I've had to like, every time I make a podcast or like anything, I'll like have to go around my house and be like, hey guys, don't knock on my door and don't be super loud because I can hear everything everyone is doing. Like I can hear my sibling drumming downstairs, or like people playing the keyboard, or like people playing video games, or like talking, watching TV, anything. So that's funny, but it's also community, it's the price of community and being close to those that I love, which is another thing that I'm just really grateful for. Today, and we're really on theme already with this introduction, but I want to talk about the importance of your space, or my story with how much I love to decorate and how much of an influence the space that you exist in and the space that you create for yourself has an impact on you, because it's always been something that is very deeply important to me. I was the type of little girl that played a lot of like flash games online, like Girls Go games, like yeah. I would play all of the little interior decorating games. I loved management games. I still do. My number one game on my phone right now is this little fashion boutique game where you have to order the clothes, you have to stock your boutique. I have been playing that since I was 8 years old. Like on my dad's iPad, and I have continuously had like re-downloading phases of it, like where I will get it again and I will play the game, and each time my boutique takes on a different theme, and I really think it's symbolic of my life and me as a person, but that's a whole other thing. But it started from a very young age, like my obsession with curating a space. And I've also been thinking a lot about how consumerism is like specifically geared towards girls and women, and the way that we are raised to be like, feel like we need to compensate in areas of space, but also that like, is it actually a natural instinct that we want to like decorate? Like, of course it's a very human thing to do, but also like the gender conditioning that goes into women, and constantly making ourselves prettier and grooming ourselves and cleanly, and everyone should be cleanly, everyone should groom themselves, but there's also a lot of like weird stuff that ties into it, and that's like literally a whole other subject. I'm getting sidetracked a lot here, but I've always loved decorating a space because I feel like you can I'm a visual creature. That's what people's boyfriends say when they want to like look at other girls in public. But I want to look at other girls in public. I'm a visual creature. I don't know. I just love feeling like I'm in my own little fantasy world that I curate myself. And when you can build something like that, you look around your space and you think, wow, everything in here, I chose it. That's a really beautiful feeling. So growing up a gamer, playing a lot of games, like even when I started playing Minecraft and it was in like beta, I was like 6 years old or something when my dad showed me the game. And I was like, oh my God, like you can build so much. Are there monsters? And he was like, yes, there's monsters. And I was like, this game sucks. So I played in peaceful mode. Even when I started playing Skyrim, I was around a similar age. I was like 7 or 8, probably. I was like, wow, there's such a big world to explore. Is there monsters? call me crazy. I don't like violence that much. I don't like the idea of monsters. I'm not a horror movie person. People are always like, oh my God, like, you're so cool in so many aspects. Why don't you like horror movies? Life in the world is scary enough. I have unbridled, like, fear is my number one thing that I am trying to conquer. That is the theme of my life, the karmic theme of many people's lives. Me, I have anxiety, and so it's like, no, I don't want to see more scary stuff. That's not really my ideal. And a lot of people watch horror and consume scary things, fight monsters, whatever, to kind of it's like a choice thing. Like, if you're choosing to see something scary, it makes you feel better about the scary things that you can't control, because you're better at dealing with fear. It's like doing things in a controlled environment type of vibe. But for me, it's just like, get it out of my face. Why would I put more of that in my reality or in my brain space? So, wow, we're talking a lot about video games. Yeah, and even the Hearthfire expansion pack DLC in Skyrim, where you build the house and you can adopt children. Dude. Because when I started getting mods on Skyrim, it was all houses. I got the mod that allows you to adopt 8 children, because I walk around Skyrim and I'm like, girl, there's so many babies that have no home. I need to adopt all of them. So I would just like have 8 children and a wife, and sometimes they would get killed by giants. But I just love houses. I really just love houses, okay? And I'm really good at loving houses. Okay, so my audio keeps cutting out, and that's been a real big problem for me filming these lately, so just bear with me. I'm trying to remember what I was talking about. Those photography series where you see people in the room, like, they get photographed in their space, and you can just tell so much about somebody by what they have in their space. Like, do you have a desk or do you have a vanity? Or, like, how much of your storage space is used on, like, clothing? Sorry, I'm really paranoid about my audio right now. This microphone is really... So I'm going to get into my story, actually, about, like, why I love interior design so much. And it started right in my childhood. Okay. I've had to move a lot of times in my life. Not, like, a lot, but, like, I'm a child of divorce, stand up. And, both of my parents have moved a lot of times, and I've had to exist in many different spaces, and I think redecorate a lot of spaces. And every time I move, it's almost like a milestone in how my room looks based on when I moved. It's like very reflective of how old I was when I moved. And I was really excited. I moved like 6 months ago to this place, and I think it's like arguably the best house I've ever lived in, which is really cool. I always wanted wood floors when I was younger, and I finally have them. Not for the same, I don't want them for the same reasons still, because when I was younger, I wanted them so that my American Girl dolls could stand up, because on carpet they would just fall down. But there's been a lot of times where I've had to redo this, and I always try to view it like I'm playing The Sims. So having moved here, I had a certain idea of what I wanted my room to look like, and, like, I wanted it to be, like, slightly more mature, but I also have gripes with, like, oh, what is mature, and shouldn't I always embrace the childish parts of myself and have stuffies on my bed and stuff? And as you can see, I do, and I actually just got this net to hold the rest of them, because I won't lie to you, I have a lot of people sleep in my bed, not in the way that you're thinking, sometimes, but, I have a lot of people who sleep over, and often their entire side of the bed is just covered in my little children. So I found a place to put them. But so yeah, having to redecorate so many times, and having played so many video games about interior decorating when I was younger, and just having this fantasy of, like, creating my own space, I really I take it very seriously. I think I was a messy kid until I was like 12 or 13, and you know, would be like, oh, Rosie, like, clean your room, and I would... Do you guys hear these fools in my house? These fools. Do you hear them saying 6, 7? Oh my god, I love them. But okay, jeez. It's, like, so hard to be serious. But I was never, like, forced to do any type of chore, which is funny, but, you know, that goes into the way I was raised, which is very relaxed. Like, your child will find their own way. And I did. My cleaning like super hyper organized gene like locked in when I was like 13 or 14, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to have tornado room anymore. I want to keep my things organized. And then do you remember YouTube in 2014 and how they all had like fairy lights and very white, smooth furniture with very bright decoration? And there was like flower crowns. Like, that was what I wanted to be so bad. And I just started being like, no, I want to craft this thing. I want to make this little like storage thing, or I want to make a pencil holder and do different colors of sand, or I want to make a nebula jar. Like, crazy, just like early Pinterest crafts. That was definitely really inspirational to me. But there just came a point when I wanted to be able to efficiently operate. I'm such a Capricorn rising. I wanted to be able to efficiently operate in the space in which I existed, because when you have a clean space, it makes everything in your life run so much more smoothly. I think, yeah, that's when it locked in for me. And I just kind of kept locking in harder and harder on my cleanliness thing. I'm really someone who's obsessive about cleaning. Like, I will get in the little corners. Like, if there is a corner I can't get, I will use a needle to clean the dust. And that is how dire it gets sometimes, because once I'm fixated on cleaning something, I will continue cleaning until it is spotless. Like, when I wash the dishes, I am in there with that, whatchamacallit, the iron scrubber thing, whatever, that steel wool. I'm steel wooling all of the scratches off of pans that have been there for like years. All the buildup. I'm like, this will not stand in the face of me. And then I mean, it's always hard to keep your space clean. It's always hard to like continue doing that over and over and over, but eventually you start to enjoy it because you start to enjoy the space you exist in. And I love moving. Well, it's stressful, but I love moving because you get to get rid of a bunch of stuff. And I think it took me, I'm going to get, to the point here now. Like, there's also a lot of weird things that I have psychologically with decorating, but that's like just like kind of personal formative experiences, and I'm not going to get into those. But okay, so I moved here and I was like, want to have a slightly more adult room, right? But have gripes with diminishing my childhoodness, or my childlike whimsy, they say. So I move here and my life is just so packed with things, and I'm like paying more rent than I've ever paid, and I'm like doing all this stuff, and I'm like trying to survive and like be me and stuff, and I just don't want to unpack. It took me, I've been here 6 months, and I still have like 4 or 5 boxes in the garage of stuff that I haven't needed for the last 6 months, i.e. I don't need it. But I finally started, decorating and really settling into a space. I think it's also scary when you have moved a lot and you like don't really want to get too comfortable in a place if you're not sure that it's going to work out, or if you kind of want to move somewhere else, or, there's so many factors that go into it. But, the more settled I get in my space, and the more effort I put into organizing it and making it feel like me, the better my work gets, the better my creativity gets, the better everything feels, the better it feels to have people over. And that's a very obvious thing. But I think it's so normalized also, like, especially in America, it's such consumer, like, it's just like hoard things, get the new thing always. And, my thing I did this month is, after I did my budgeting, I spent most of my spending money on just little things that I knew I needed. Like this little net for my stuffed animals. Like these guitar mounts. I mounted all my guitars so they're not falling over on the floor anymore. I have a purse hanger that you can see right there. I bought myself a mirror. I got myself a shelf for my like makeup and stuff like that. I got a jewelry hanger. I got a light bulb. You can see my colorful lamp right there. I got an LED like color changing light bulb, and my life has already changed so much since I put all of these things up. And also just like getting up on a table and like drilling into a wall to like put something up is like, it feels very I feel very strong, and like I feel like zaddy, I feel like a daddy. But it has energetic benefits. when you get rid of stuff and when you clean up, not only is it like, oh, I physically feel nice in this space, but like you can feel the energy of your space shift because there's just free space. Everything you didn't want feels free. It's like you freed it from the imprisonment of just sitting and being stagnant and of no use to you. And that's something I learned about in the Life-Changing Art of Tidying and Cleaning Up. Marie Kondo, I mean, everyone knows who Marie Kondo is. Spark joy thing. And I've never KonMari'd my life entirely, but her book had such, I mean, for a spiritual person like me, and looking at cleaning and curating a space through a spiritual lens, even though her stuff she's way more minimalist, it makes you feel, it puts a whole different perspective on the way that you feel about a space or curating a space, is how you like view your things. And not that everything is a living being, but low-key everything is, because you breathe life into it and your awareness creates awareness, it's just everything is awareness. Y'all are gonna call me crazy. Actually, no, you're not. You guys are not gonna call me crazy, because you guys don't call me crazy, and that's what I love most about my audience, is you guys are pretty much always affirming and putting more perspective into any beliefs that I share, and that is what I really appreciate about my audience. So thank you guys. The fact that so few of you guys are whack makes me feel really affirmed in the fact that I'm probably not whack. But it's also easy to ignore your physical space and your physical world, like even your body, when you participate in the digital world a lot. And it's really easy to just, because we're so used to like instant gratification, sitting down and like paying attention to your space and really curating that can fall by the wayside if you are really focused on curating an online image, or you exist in an online space. And I'm someone who's always existed in an online space. I was on Tumblr. I've always been on Instagram. But in a cool way, it is kind of fun to see your digital world physically manifest into the world around you, not by way of like, I'm trying not to sound dystopian here, but like, all these things that you like and discover from the internet, like you look at pictures of your favorite artists on the internet and stuff like that, but like seeing your space, like when you can really externalize. Okay, think of it like this. If you have like a blog, I feel like the digital world used to be the escape. So it's like you want to make your digital landscape look like your real life landscape, what you've curated in real life. But now we do all the curation through digital means. So now it's kind of a matter of expressing that digitality, or whatever you make in your digital space, into real life. And that's, you can view that whatever way you want, but it is kind of nice to feel like you're living in your little Pinterest board. And not everything has to be super clean cut and perfect and look exactly like your inspo board, but it is cool to like, I don't know, I'm an online kid, and I like feeling like I live in one of those games I used to play growing up. And that is just the fact of the matter. It's like, that was my formative experiences. Those were my formative experiences that really got me interested, or like helped me express that part of myself. I think we're all really scared of, techno-fascism and just like kind of what tech is doing. But there are so many positive aspects of it, and I don't want to like feel shame for acknowledging those things. I also really liked playing The Sims, and that was like such a good building game. I mean, there's so many flaws with The Sims 4, and also it just got sold to some people. Guys, I think they're also gouging everyone for money, and I think there's so much more they could have done with The Sims 4, but it was really good for decorating. And also one of my house is using a blender. But yeah, just like, dude, playing video games and then wanting my world to feel like a little video game. And hey, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Maybe there's a few things wrong with that. But, yeah, since focusing on my space, I feel a lot more like myself. And actually, I started filming a video on my camcorder when I moved in here about curating my room, and like I wanted to document my progress of decorating it, so I'm probably going to update that, and then eventually I want to, edit and upload it, so that you guys will really see. But it's also like, a room is never a finished creation. I don't think I'm ever going to look at it and go, yep, it's completely done, but I think I have a little more to go before I feel like it's really fleshed out enough for me to be like, and here's how it looked when I moved in, and here's how it looks now. There's a lot I have to do, but it's just like a physical manifestation of like a treasure chest. It's everything I've found in my life. It's everything you find in your life that you treasure, and you put it in one place and you put it on display. And I think that is just so important. So whether you're someone who enjoys interior design and like curating a space or not, like I urge you to explore it, and I urge you to make a little Pinterest board for your room. And I urge you to go through your drawers and empty them out and put back in only what you really want to keep, only what you really appreciate, because everything else you should let it go for the item's sake and for your own. Hashtag inspiring. Yeah, really love spaces, really love, my space. So, yeah, I honestly think that might be most of what I have to say. I think there's a lot of other points I could go into and subjects that I could explore, but I'm kind of figuring out like how I want these OSIEZONE episodes to play out, and I think eventually I'll want to have like a longer format and maybe have some guests on here, because there's so many wonderful people in my life that I would love to talk to, but maybe I will yap for a little bit longer. But it's also like, should I just like genuinely start making a regular ass like YouTube video and like thinking out my points more and like whatever, but also like I kind of just like talking. There's a few things. Speaking of video games, like we've talked about video games so much this episode, I really want a PC. If any brands are watching this that want to send me one, I will do an ad for you. I don't know, like, because those are really expensive, like, if you want to give me a PC. But also, if you have any tips or anything, like, girl, I really don't have the bandwidth in my life to build my own PC, and, like, I do have a legion of twinks who know a lot of yes, a legion. I do have a legion of twinks who know a lot about PCs that could, help me out, but also, like, I feel like I'm such a facilitator and I need to be so in control of everything I do that I might just rather buy a pre-built. So let me know, because I know a lot of you are nerds and geeks and probably really into video games. So thank you very much. And creative people are awesome. I just love creative people. And that's just truly what I have to say. I've been really centering back into my creativity, struggling with all the ethical problems that I usually do, and my morality things about just like being alive and existing, especially in America. But what is new on that front? I'm honestly trying to find more things to talk about other than that. But recently, when people ask me how I am, I just kind of look at them like, because how could I possibly think about how I am on an individual level with all of the horrors occurring? So, yeah, do something creative, decorate your space. I love you guys, and a little short episode because I'm trying to be more consistent. So actually let me know if you guys would like more space between episodes and then like have a longer yap type of thing, or if you think I should just like say what's on my mind and like let it flow, or if you think I should just also make some regular ass YouTube videos, which I need to do because I'm really trying to shift to YouTube. I got my following from short form content from like TikTok, but it's the mind fuck of like making such short form stuff all the time. It is so starting to be draining to my creative spirit, and I like making longer videos. I feel like I have more to say than can be encapsulated in a minute and 30 seconds, as you guys can see. So let me know what you guys think, and let me know how you decorate your space, and what's most important to you. Do you have a vanity or a desk? How much of your storage space is for your clothes? Do you have anything really unconventional in your room that is like kind of silly? Let me know, guys, and thank you all so much for watching and supporting me. I am going to be on YouTube more often, and I know I say that. Baby, please trust me, I'm changing. Baby, please. I'm gonna go like play some music and maybe go on a drive in my hashtag car. Love you guys so much. My bibblebonksquonculi, and stream my music. I promise I'm coming out with more soon. Okay? Love you. Mwah. Ozzy out.